What if the frustration you're carrying in this lifetime, what if it's been with you for centuries? And what if it originated in a past life? After 30 years and over 1,000 client sessions, I've realized that by recognizing these patterns and releasing them, true transformation can happen. Let me take you inside a session, behind the scenes. I'll break down how my session went with Amber, who had deep frustration and anger, things she just couldn't shake. And through her journey, we uncovered something deeper, much deeper than she expected. And what happened when she finally let go was truly transformative. I guided Amber into a deep hypnotic state. Her breath shifted, her awareness changed. With each exhale, the outside world faded, and a doorway to her unconscious opened, revealing what has always been waiting beneath the surface. As she settled into trance, her unconscious led her to a mountain retreat, a place between worlds, suspended in peace, a place she created. She described a white stone patio, simple but sacred. The rooms were small, designed for rest, and open to the elements. And there, in the warmth of the sun, were her 3 beloved dogs. And right away, this signals that she's not creating a random experience. The unconscious is always giving us meaning. The mountain represents higher awareness, detachment, perspective. And the white stone patio is a neutral space, represents clarity and stillness. Her dogs, unconditional love and support. I know that when I bring my dogs or my pets into my internal experience, there's a sense of peace and love. And so if you're connected to pets and animals, bringing them into your inner journey can be really healing and really helpful. Amber was seeking a space where she could feel safe, but also detached from emotional weight. Her dogs being there suggested she was reconnecting with love, but something else was missing. And then she felt it, Jesus. He was relaxed, observant. He was taking in all the details of her space. It's as if he was being invited into someone's home. When we're in a deep hypnotic state, our guides can show up in many ways. Religious figures, family members, beings, energy, symbols, shapes, but they have meaning to us. And it's not about what we expect to see. Always, it's random. It's always something unexpected, but there's a feeling behind it. When you connect with the guide, I don't try to analyze it, try to look into, is this really Jesus or is this really a spirit guide? Maybe it's a part of us. Maybe it's an unconscious part. The logical mind wants to reason and try to think, is this real? But the intuition, you begin to feel it. So when you begin to connect with your guides in these internal spaces, you truly feel it. And at that moment, Amber wasn't trying to analyze it. She was feeling it. I could tell by the shift in her body language. She was smiling. She was feeling this emotion. Even tears were coming down her eyes. And there was no questioning this. This was deep recognition. This is when you are truly feeling the session, is when you let go of the analytical mind and you tap into that emotional heart space. Amber had built this stable place of peace with Jesus there. It's because she was already in that state. And her guide is not showing up as a rescuer, which sometimes they can. He was showing up as a presence. In this moment, it wasn't about receiving answers. It was about feeling supported and connected. And that's what Christ energy can do, even if you're not religious. I know that growing up, raised Catholic, I strayed away from religion. Yet Christ energy is beyond dogma. It's beyond religion. When you tap into Christ energy, there's something different. And I respect when clients tap into this because Christ energy is all about love and peace and compassion. So when you feel it and if you connect with it, it's pretty powerful. Spirit guides meet us where we are. If we are overwhelmed with grief, they show up as comforters. If we're ready for insight, they appear as teachers. And yet, even in this peaceful place, Amber struggled. And she looked at Jesus and asked him, "What do you have to tell me today?" His response was simple, steady. "It's okay, keep going." But Amber didn't feel that way. She said, "I feel lost, I feel confused." And then came the real teaching. Jesus says there is only peace. And this was a defining moment. Jesus wasn't saying, everything's gonna be okay. He was saying peace isn't something you reach, it's something you allow. Amber wasn't asked to solve her problems, she was being invited to step beyond them. As I guided Amber deeper into the session, she was guided towards a pathway. 3 doorways appeared. A wooden door, neutral, calm. A stone frame door, heavy, foreboding. A crawl space, small, constricted, filled with fear. And then butterflies appeared, and they flew on top of the stone door, indicating this is the one she should follow. As she stepped through the stone door, Amber became someone else. She was Runa, a young woman trapped in a life that was never truly her own. She had been taken as a child, lost in the chaos of the village market, only to be rescued by an older woman, stern, controlling, unyielding. This woman called herself family, but she was nothing of the sort. She took Runa in, fed her, clothed her, but never really let her forget that she owed her everything. Whenever Runa asked about her past, about her parents she barely remembered, the woman would just shut her down. You're being ungrateful. Why do you insist on making up stories? You have everything you need here. Stop looking for something that doesn't exist. And the more Runa fought to be heard, the more the woman made her question herself. As Amber watched this unfold, she felt a jolt of recognition. This woman reminded her of someone else, her mother-in-law. The same sharp tone, the same subtle dismissiveness, the same way she made Amber feel small, unheard, and powerless. And right away, I knew Amber was experiencing a karmic connection. Her unconscious mind had taken her directly to the source, to her deepest struggle in this life. Amber was seeing this karmic connection. In the past, she was Runa, the helpless girl fighting to be acknowledged. In this life, she was Amber, the woman who still felt unseen, unheard, struggling with the same emotional battle. This wasn't a coincidence. This was a pattern. And then something shifted. As Runa grew older, she saw a way out. A stable hand, kind, gentle, offering her marriage. It wasn't love, but it was freedom. This stable man, he reminded her of her current husband. And for the first time, she saw something new in these women's eyes. Fear. The old woman had always held control over her, and now she was losing it. And the moment Runa left with the stable man, the power dynamic changed. And even though she had escaped, she was still fighting the same battle. The woman remained in her life, now bitter, distant figure. But the struggle never ended. The passive-aggressive comments, the sharp-edged words beneath the polite conversations, the unspoken power struggle, who would get the last word. And suddenly Amber understood. This wasn't a past life memory. This was her life. And the way Runa's old captor treated her, this was exactly the way her mother-in-law treated her now. Just like Runa, Amber kept engaging, kept trying to win the argument, kept needing to prove she was right. But in the end, Runa never won. At 50 years old, her heart gave out. Her final thought, not enough love. Amber sat in that moment, staring at the truth. She had lived this before. The woman in a past life, now her mother-in-law. Different face, different lifetime, same energy, same battle. And just like before, her mother-in-law refused to give her the validation she needed. She dismissed her thoughts. She made subtle, cutting remarks. She always held on to the upper hand in the conversation. And Amber kept trying to fight back. And then she realized this wasn't a battle she needed to win. It was a battle she needed to walk away from. The karmic lesson wasn't about changing the other person. It wasn't about getting justice. In the past life, Runa died fighting. But Amber, she could end this cycle now. And for the first time, she asked herself, what if I just let it go? And with that, she finally saw a way out. At this point, I guided Amber to connect with Runa's spirit, not just as a distant memory, but as a living presence, a part of her that existed still within. And this wasn't about witnessing the past. It was about facing it, feeling it, and understanding it. When Amber asked, what did you learn? Runa's answer was simple but profound. I wasted my life trying to prove her wrong. I should have just lived. And the words hit Amber deep. How many times had she done the same? How often had she let resentment drain her, waiting for validation to never come? And even when it does, it never frees us. And so she made a choice. Runa reached out, her hands hovering over Amber's body, old wounds, heavy emotions, lifetimes of exhaustion, all rising to the surface. It swirled like a dark mist, something Amber carried for so long, but she forgot it wasn't hers. And this time she didn't hold on. She let it be pulled from her, not with struggle, but with surrender. What should I do with it? Amber asked. Runa smiled. Let the wind take it. And so they did. And the moment we stop fighting for validation for the people that hurt us, we reclaim our power. And forgiveness isn't about excusing what happened. It's about no longer letting it define us. Amber could have held on to her anger. She could have waited for justice, but instead she chose peace. And sometimes that's the hardest choice of all. In Amber's journey, it wasn't about a past life. It was about a pattern that followed her through lifetimes. And that's the real pattern there. Unresolved emotions don't just disappear. They show up again and again until we're ready to release them. If you find yourself stuck in these patterns of resentment, frustration, emotional pain, ask yourself this. Is this truly mine, or have I been carrying it for too long? Am I still waiting for someone to acknowledge my pain? What would happen if I chose to let it go instead of holding it on? And here's how you can begin to let go of past life emotions in this life. 5 steps to let go of emotional baggage from the past. Recognize the pattern, what keeps repeating. Look at your relationships, your reactions, your biggest emotional triggers. If the same struggle keeps showing up, it's time to go deeper. Feel where it lives in your body. Emotional pain isn't just in the mind, it's stored in the body. Is it in your chest, your stomach, your throat? Pay attention to where you hold it. Ask your unconscious, where did this begin? Close your eyes and let your intuition guide you. Was this feeling always there? Did it come from childhood or maybe before? Imagine releasing the old energy. Imagine the weight rising to the surface, maybe leaving through your hands, through your feet, just like Amber did in her session. See it and imagine it leaving your body, dissolving, floating away, no longer yours to carry. Affirm, I choose to be free. You don't need anyone's permission to release what no longer serves you. Say it out loud, breathe it in, and let it become real. You don't need to keep carrying the past. The moment you decide and choose to release it, just like Amber did, you create a space for something new. If this story resonated with you, you're not alone. So many of us are carrying past emotions without even realizing it. Sometimes we need the right space to process, reflect, and grow. Make sure you like, you subscribe for more videos. I'll see you next time. Take care.